All right, so guys, we in for our real treat today, right? I'm going to show you how to prepare our real cheat meal. Now, if you all know, whenever you're now establishing a vegetable garden, as the garden begins to bear, you will probably only get like 2 stringer booty, 1 or 2 same, 1 or 2 okras, that kind of thing. And that's exactly what's happening with my garden, which I recently started. So this morning I was going up to Cora and I stopped and I buy this cassava, I buy hot pepper, and I bought a head of garlic, and I already cleaned some of the greens. And this is what I was able to get from the garden, right? I got some okras, right? I got some okras. I know I was coming home to make a little cook, so I pick a celery, right? I get 1 or 2 body here, right? 1 or 2 body. I get 1 or 2 little same, and I had purchased this onion too. So I spent $10 at the Veggie Mart, and the rest of stuff I was able to get from my garden. And yesterday I bought a tin of tuna. I bought it in the shop, so I paid shop price. I paid $16 for a tin of tuna. So I split it in half. So this amount of tuna in here is worth $8. So we're looking at 8 and 10 is $16. And I know by the time I finish here, right, this will definitely be able to feed 2 people comfortably. So what you're looking at here is preparation of an $8 meal. Of course, that is if you have a little kitchen garden. So let me start the prepping. I already have some water here, and let me start by dealing with the cassava. Alright, so we get this cassava wash up. So hopefully now in the future, what we're looking at is I would not even have to buy cassava. And that is where we want to reach, where we don't have to purchase anything. Right? Of course, cassava does take about 4 to 6 months to come in. So in the meanwhile, we're planting the sticks, but we will have to be purchasing cassava still. Right? It don't take any kind of work out of me to put some cassava sticks into the ground. Alright, so we clean this cassava, which I am really not a professional at, but we will get it done. And the thing about it is that this is good diet food, guys, right? Because as you could see, is vegetables that full with a lot of minerals. And the good thing is that we have an organic garden, which means to say that our vegetables will be packed with better nutrients. All right. This really is not a thing that I like to do, but we carry the cassava with the skin. Have some people professionals at this, you know. That's all you could see. I ain't a professional at it. So is it worth it in terms of having a garden? And I will tell you one thing, gardening really and truly is not a very cheap thing in the beginning, because you need to improve your soil, and the best thing you could really improve your soil with is, believe it or not, compost, right? Think about it as feeding the soil rather than feeding the plants. You feed the soil, you could feed the plants even better, right? It will help with water retention and everything. So we could I'll bust this down in half so it won't take too long to cook. Right, you can put this in here in the bean bag. Nice. And of course, if you have your garden, you're looking at throwing all of this compost into it. Right, next we'll wash all these. So these are okras from the garden here, and I will be getting, right now, the okras that you see here is from 5 trees. So if you have 5 okra trees, every day when your okras start to bear, this is the amount of okras you'll be getting, a handful, right? Nice. And we have the body. And if you only had 2-3 body vine, this is all you're getting every day. So you'll have to plant a good bit if you want that bundle. I picked some seed yesterday. This is all I get, but it's going in the pot. Right. We have the celery and some save. And pepper. Nice. Okay, so we start by breaking up these things here first. Garlic, we can do it on a pounding instrument here. And of course, if you don't have a garden, you can go in your fridge and whatever remain. This is something you could do with it rather than make a soup, right? Right, so we have the garlic here. Let's mince this up. I believe in a quick form of cooking. So, you know, when I look to mince this up too fine. And the video is in real time, so you'll get an idea as to how quickly we could get this meal prepared, and hopefully we'll be able to go all the way up to tasting. I love onions. To me, it's a cheap way to buffer the meal and stretch it. So consider this like a kind of economical form of cooking. Alright, so yeah. Okay, so Daddy has to go and do something, so let's flip the camera. Or we can't flip camera. Alright, so sorry about that. Yes, so I'm waiting for Daddy. He just going to do something. Let me check out the cassava. We had to put a little salt in that. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Hot pepper damas. Right. We turn on the stove here. We'll heat it up quickly and then okay, so while that is hot up there, deal with the body. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about something, right? Now, remember, as I said, right? Remember, let's let the camera down. Remember, as I said, this could definitely feed 2 people. But I'm thinking in my head here right now, we have some people here with us. So what I'm thinking, I believe there is some pak choy in the fridge. So remember, this video was really destined to show that with $8 we could prepare a meal for our place. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buffer this meal by adding in the pak choy and we adding an next tin of tuna. So we'll get maximum out of the meal. That way everybody will get to eat. Right. And we just basically chop it up everything as we go along. This is celery, no particular order. The only thing I'll keep separate is the okras, because we don't want to cook the okras for too long, right? First side from the garden. Which means to say what we have to do is put some rice to boil also. And we ain't forgetting, we seem so young that I can't even peel off the little thread there, right? And next thing you could do when you're planting seed and it being like this is you could sieve them up in the refrigerator. When you have enough, then you'll cook it. Right. So we'll add a little piece of pepper here again, because we're stretching this meal. We get the okras chopped up. We don't know how it will taste, but we know it's nutritious. That is one thing we know for sure. Right, so here's the pak choy. So remind me, Daddy, when I finish wash up this, to put the pot up for the rice. Oh yes, and I want to say happy birthday going out to Anna. Right, Anna, happy birthday to you. Coming from all of us, Grandpa Lance, Mama Lou, and myself. And Suri said to make sure and tell you happy birthday, right? Suri was the only one that I see this morning. The other two girls were sleeping. So happy birthday to you, darling, right? Yeah, man, thanks for that reminder there, boy. Now, guys, I just grow pak choy myself, and I'm telling you, I'm not throwing away this leaf because it have a little discoloration and it have these holes in it, right? Only if it's brown and rotted, I'll throw it away. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and it's only when you start a plant, it is value. It is value that, hey, you don't just throw away things like that. A lot of times, we throw away a lot of food, right? So, what we could do is probably have this here to suit the size of the board. Well, again, at real time. Inside of there. Of course, I could have do it on a bigger board, but we will get it done. So those are the white parts. So what we'll do, we'll come back to this. Let me go here. Just our heat. And we need to put some rice. Some morning. Coconut oil, use regular oil. In with that, right, so we have 3 pots of final pimento there. Let's add in this pimento. We build in flavors. And we're going in now with this harder stuff. And we want to encourage this to sweat a little bit. So now we have the time to add in some salt. Coming along nicely. We'll just cover this just for a little bit. And let me go back here to chopping up this stuff. Right, so what we'll do now is we get a nice little pause here. We could add this coat together with this, and we could begin to clean up here. So we're going good. We're going good here so far. Right, just to boil some rice and deal with the tuna. So since we in the mess, let me get rid of it one time. Right, so we have the tuna here. Let's drain it out. So now we can afford to clean. And we know we're good with one shot. Now, keep it running, man. Keep it running. Because this is a real important part for them to see. How quickly we can clean up this place. So make sure you focus on what you're doing. Thanks. This here, this here. Right. Thanks. You doing good in Abatis?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Very good.
Right, so we started from on this side here, guys, because we almost finished cook. You know how we want it. Clean as you go, man.
Clean as you go.
Oh, yeah. So you always get a lapse in a kitchen where you could utilize that time, right, to just quickly wash up all the wells. And this is not all heavy stuff that had grease or anything in it, is vegetable, so you could rinse this with water if you want. Alright, and I've seen some here that I think we could definitely add to the meal. Right? Because I'm now cooking for about 5 persons. So what we're looking at is seeing if we could stretch this meal a bit. So this, although you notice that I leave the skin on it, getting a little sticking action here. Right? This is exactly what we want here, guys. Medley of vegetables. Alright. So we gotta cut up this kind of small because the cooking time, and I'll leave in the skin. This is real health conscious food here. Huh? You like the menu? Or?
Yeah, this one.
Right, so we cover this a bit. Nice. Good one. we getting ourselves
Are
ready
you
for.
cooking up a storm there? What's on the menu? Yes, Anna?
Here is a medley of vegetables with tuna.
Oh, great. And provision?
No, that is just one piece of cassava, so the other boiled rice.
Oh, good. Very nice. Well, that sounds healthy, especially for a heart man.
Yeah, man.
I like to come to the store, so I glad to see you doing well. That helps me.
Here. Just this cassava. Still need to boil. But what I would like to do is just shift this pot to the back here. This to the front here. Right. Don't have any salt in our cassava. Right, then English rice here. Nice. We are ready. How long that video is there so far?
26.
26? Alright. So let me finish cook up this particular meal here. Right? And we'll see how we go. Probably we can make a part 2 when we finish it. So I'm going in here now with the rest of this stuff, the okra and the pak choy leaves. Right? A full pot of nice vegetables today. Right? And I know definitely we will need some more salt inside of here. And when this cook down a bit, we'll add in the tin of the tuna. Right? So let me get this off. Just go in these plates. Believe it or not, I love coconut milk turkey is very good in this also, eh? Yeah.
Water.
Right. You can leave it as well, just so. You put in the tuna, but like if let me say you didn't have any tuna, you could start to drop a little coconut milk in this. I don't think this is something that young people might necessarily like. I know my girls will eat it. They are accustomed eating this kind of thing since they're small.
Olive oil. Olive oil.
If I use olive oil, no, I use coconut oil. Right, so you see how nice it's coming in there. So let's give this about, I would say about 5 minutes again. Then we'll have ourselves a nice, perfect veg. Right, you could add in your little chow mein seasoning and thing if you want, but we really going for a hearty, healthy meal here today.
We're going for a hearty meal,
Yeah. So I put in all the black pepper. Yeah, man. Right. We check the cassava. Right. Right, the cassava need about 5 minutes again. Right, and water will be boiling here just now. So what we do is we'll wash out the rice. Now, one of the things I encourage people to do is rather than go and get our next bowl now to wash the rice, this is where you could really keep down on the amount of rice, because if we do that, when we finish, when we wash this bowl, we're going to take up space on the waste rack, and then we have our next bowl to drink. So try to utilize what you have in front of you, right? And all this calling for is a quick rinse. This was just pak choy leaves in here. And organize your rice. Mommy, how much rice? Here, this boy. 2 cups. One just how to do because it's plenty veg. Right. This is important when you do it. I mean, even though hot water does kill everything, but people is be walking through rice and thing, you know. Animals, when they spread out rice. Or you won't believe it. I have been to the sugar factories already where they have like mountains of sugar on the ground. And sometimes they can't help it. Dogs and things walking through it, you know. Yeah. A dog end up in the sugarcane processing plant. And sugar high. You remember when you go Bridging Castle, you see sugar in heaps under the sheds? Yeah. So you see this water boiling here. Alright, so this water started boiling. And this, I just usually, once the water boiling like this, in 20 minutes time, I know that my rice good. So it's exactly 10 o'clock there. I don't have to come and check this rice over the next 20 minutes because that's why I prefer to boil rice in a little extra water. So I wouldn't have to keep monitoring it or my rice end up burning. So I will choose to boil my rice in extra water. All this is real good tips, especially, you know, like if you want to, because right now this kitchen more or less clean, right? And I don't really have anything else to do right now other than strain out that cassava, then the rice. So this is a perfect time to make sure that everything, if you want this to be, if this was stew chicken, you lower the stove. So you could now go and do your chores, maybe put some clothes to wash or some kind of thing like that. Right? Right. And you could smell that way. Smell the freshness of these vegetables. Right? And just to finish this off now, this is our tuna. I'm going to throw it inside here. Right? So, if things hard economically, which is, I'm not saying that is the situation here, right? But I'll show you earlier with just a little handful of vegetables here and there, and 1 tin of tuna. Now, 5 to 6 people could eat from this. So let me say we had paid for the pak choy and the tin of tuna. We're looking at $10 for a bundle of pak choy, right? I spent $10 by the vegetable mat, and we took another tin of tuna. That's $16, so that's $36 so far, and I had $8 in tuna left. So that's 36 and 8 is 44, and 5 people eating from that. And if you do the division, that is how much? How much we had reached?
Almost $9.
Right, so $9, and you're eating extremely healthy. You can't go wrong. Right, so let me just raise the heat up here a bit and see if we could burn out some of that liquid at the bottom. But what a healthy way to be eating. And of course, if you could afford it and you want this to really be rich, by all means, throw in an next tin or two. Right, there's a nice distribution of tuna throughout this. And the salt is just perfect. Yeah. So we can afford to take this off. This is finished, Daddy. You can come and focus on it. Right, so that is finished. And I will cover it. And let me check out this cassava here now. Still getting a little small resistance here. This piece is good. Alright. So that went to do something there. And we'll continue the operation. Right? A big part of the cooking is indeed the cleaning up. I had some tuna in it, so I could leave that soaking there a little bit. Right, so generally we could afford to get ready now. Some straining, and whenever you're straining off stuff, especially if you might have been using your sink to wash meats or anything, always make sure that you have a nice clean sink. I mean, sometimes I and all in a little rush, right? But you know, you don't want anything back washing through the strainer. Remember, the strainer have holes in it, so you want a nice clean sink if possible. I mean, if you're in a rush and it have waste in the sink and rice burning, you don't have a choice. But we have a choice here right now, and it's a good habit. Always rinse out things that has been stored in the cupboards on the underside. Rice coming nice. Cassava beginning to really get soft there now. So we're almost ready. So I think that we have been doing this video right 38 minutes right now. 38 minutes, and we have ourselves a balanced meal prepared. Right? We're looking really good there. We have the rice that will finish in 20 minutes, and that cassava. Well, at this point, you know, keep checking your cassava. When you're sticking the knife, don't bend it because you'll mash up the cassava. Alright, good. So this cassava is finished. Right. Nice. Right, and we're going to strain out this. Now, if you're really watching your diet and that kind of thing, this is an ideal time if you wish to drop some butter in that, mash it up. That is one of the nicest cassava you could eat, right? But it isn't necessary for us to add all that fat to our diet here today, right? So we'll just cover this down. So we already have two things prepared. We have the cassava, we have the pak choy, and we have the rice. So that is about it. And as you can see, the kitchen is really nice and clean. Operating one hand here. 40 minutes on the timer. I really waiting on Daddy here so I could finish wash up one or two little things. But we need to keep the video running. So I'm preparing the sink in the meanwhile for the next thing to strain, which is the rice. So I will say overall, if I knew I was cooking that rice together, I would have actually been finished here. So I think definitely I could have prepared this meal in 35 minutes flat. Yeah, in 35 minutes flat. So time is 10:10, and as I say, this rice is going to be ready at 10:20. So I just really trying to fill in the gaps here while I'm waiting on Daddy. Maybe earlier could watch how nice that breeze blowing. Them plants over there, really, really nice. Right, I would like to wipe down the stove, but we just have to let the stove cool down before we wipe it. So generally, it's just a strain of rice and we have some hot food to eat. So I think what we will do, guys, is we will close off this video at this point in time, and then Daddy could probably run another video when they're having the food. So I hope all you enjoy this little segment, and once again, thank you very much for all the support on all the channels. And remember, if you love to do a little gardening, if you get inspired, guys, if you could really get compost and use in your garden, it is the best thing to really do. It may seem to be an expensive thing to do, but I will get in more to compost on my channel. All right, so in the meanwhile, all right, thank you and stay blessed. We out.